Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we are doing the video games pickup video for basically the first quarter of 2026, and I kind of held off on doing the monthly videos only because I really wasn't picking that much up this year so far, but we do have a nice little stack to get through today. There's probably about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11-ish games here, plus a Blu-ray that I felt like I could put in here because it kind of just fits into the video game landscape. So let's get started. Now, earlier in the year, I wasn't picking much stuff up because there wasn't a lot of games coming out that I really wanted. However, Amazon recently had their big spring sale, and that's where I honestly picked up a lot of these. So let's get into it. The first game came from the big spring sale, and this is Elden Ring Night Rain. Now, I have the original Elden Ring game. This is like an expansion, but it's its own base game that focuses on multiplayer. I haven't played the original Elden Ring yet, but I know it plays like a Souls game. And I'm not sure if I'm really gonna like it. Some games from the Souls series I like the style, but truthfully, a lot of the times I'm just not good at the games. So we'll see. But it was on sale, so I picked it up. The next game also came from the big spring sale, and I've been wanting to play this one only because it seems different, and that's Silent Hill F. Now, I say it seems different only because compared to the other Silent Hill games, this one seems to take place in Japan or like an Asian country and has a different kind of, I don't want to say plot, but like style of the other Silent Hills. And it's been in my eye for a little bit, but I was waiting for a sale just to be sure. And yeah, finally got this one. Another game I've been waiting to play is Code Vein 2. Another Amazon big spring sale pickup. I loved the original Code Vein. I loved the art style. It's a Souls-like game, but it had a very good narrative to it, in my opinion. It had a very cool, almost like Tales of kind of art series or style, which makes sense because it is made by Bandai Namco, who also makes the Tales of series. And for a style of gameplay that I'm usually not too good at, what really kept me intrigued in the original Code Vein was that art style and the narrative that was there. So I'm looking forward to playing this. The next game I picked up during the big spring sale is Dragon Quest Monsters. Now this, I don't really know much about. I love the Dragon Quest games I've played, but I know this is like a spin-off series. It's not part of the main line. And it says you scout a myriad of monsters. And from what I had seen of this game in the past, is this kind of just reminded me of like a Dragon Quest kind of Pokemon game to an extent. And by scouting the monsters to have them like work as a team in what looks like turn-based combat, it kind of feels like that. Or similar to how like World of Final Fantasy played. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I am looking forward to playing this. Now, I did pick up quite a few Switch 2 games that we'll get into here. Because with that, I picked up a couple Switch 1 games as well. Speaking of Dragon Quest, for the Switch 2, I picked up Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Now, I've never played the original Dragon Quest VII, but the games are always, in a weird way, adorable from the ones I've played. This one looks very similar to that as well. And I'm looking forward to playing this. I really am. Whenever I do get to it. But it looks like it's going to be a super fun game. I know the game has gotten good reviews. I know the original game got good reviews, so really looking forward to it. Then I picked up a game called Chronos: The New Dawn. I don't know much about this, but it says survive the future, salvage the past. It looks like it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic survival horror game. Brutal third-person survival horror game, yep. And set in a post-apocalyptic future. And the 1980s era Poland. Huh. So this one should be interesting to play. I didn't read many reviews on this. I don't know how good it is, but I am intrigued. Then I picked up Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion. Now, the original Daemon X Machina, I played parts of. I never finished the game, if we're being honest, because I just really lost interest. And I've heard with this, the sequel, they've really revamped a lot of the gameplay style. And people have said it's a lot better than the original game, and it's a lot less boring. I found the original game very dragging on, per se, where I hate building machines in my games, and it just felt very tedious to get the equipment, to get the parts. I really wanted to give that game a chance because early on in the original Daemon X Machina, I was hooked to it. I loved it. I thought the gameplay ran great. I thought it wasn't too like overly building of your Machina, and then it just became very tedious, kind of out of nowhere, and I lost interest within a couple days. I feel like I might go back to it and play it and finish it finally, but who knows. Now, another game I picked up that I didn't know if I was going to like, right? And I still don't know if I'm going to like, only because it's a little bit different, and that's Octopath Traveler 0. Now, this is, I know, a prequel to the original Octopath Traveler where you build your own towns, and you basically, it says you start from 0 in a tale of restoration and retribution. Now, I loved Octopath Traveler 1 when that first came out because I loved the branching storylines. I loved the 2.5 HD art style. I thought it was such a charming game. And I'm working on starting Octopath Traveler 2 soon. It's like the next game in my backlog list as I'm currently playing the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. And the only thing I think I'm not going to like about this game is possibly the town building, because I'm just not good at those type of games, whether it be like Stardew Valley or even like Harvest Moon. It's never been my kind of game. Maybe this does something different that'll keep me there, especially if the rest of the story is very intriguing. So I look forward to playing this. Now let's go to a couple more Switch games, because I have 2 more Switch games. And the first one is Beyond the Ice Palace 2. This game was also on sale, and it really won me over to buy it because of just the old school, like almost like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis art style. I really can't pronounce things today. And it looks super cool. It looks almost like a Metroidvania / old school Castlevania game. I've never played the original Beyond the Ice Palace, but I think I'm going to really like this one. But another game that I have, the last game for the Switch here, that I know I'm really going to like, because I've played quite a few of these games already, if not all of them. I think I have them all. And this just came out. It's the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. Now, I'm such a big fan of Mega Man. I always have been since I played Mega Man 8, I think was the first one I played on the PlayStation 1. Battle Network and Legends is still my favorite series of all time from Mega Man, which is funny because they're the ones that are different than the other ones. And Star Force, for anyone who hasn't played, is kind of a continuation of the Battle Network series per se. In the sense of it's a very similar art style, very similar gameplay style. However, they kind of left Battle Network on the Game Boy Advance, and when the DS came out, Star Force started. Even the characters look very similar. So, I'm pretty sure I have all of these. I don't really remember. But when I first got my 3DS, getting the Star Force games was one of my original big goals. And I did. At least, like... So, Battle Network and Star Force, they kind of do the Pokemon route after the first couple games, where Battle Network 1 and 2 were just standalone games, and then they created 2 different versions going forward, and Star Force does the same thing. So I have at least one of each version for those. And those are the ones I've played. So it's going to be interesting to play the other ones, see what differences they have. I never thought Star Force would get like a Legacy Collection, so it's very interesting that this came out. And funnily enough, like, I didn't even know this was coming out until like a month-ish ago when I just saw it on a listing. I was like, when did I miss this announcement? So I had to pre-order it. Now this kind of goes in to the Blu-ray I got. And while it's not Star Force based, it is the complete series of Mega Man. The original series from the 90s contains 27 episodes on one Blu-ray. I've seen only a few of these episodes in my time, and never the full series. So it's going to be interesting one night to just sit and start binge watching this and see really how good and how weird these episodes were. Because I know I see, I guess you could say memes of this series because of the bad voice acting and stuff. But I'm very intrigued to try this. And then the last game I picked up this month. Well, it's kind of my yearly pickup in the chronology. And it is WWE 2K26 for the PlayStation 5. I've been really enjoying what I've been playing of this game so far because they've changed it to be, I don't want to say less simulation, but more arcadey. It really reminds me of the old SmackDown games because of kind of the eccentricness about it. What they did differently in this game, aside from giving my boy CM Punk his showcase mode, which I was very happy because the first platinum trophy I ever got in WWE 2K26 game was WWE 2K, or WWE 13 at the time, for the PlayStation 3, which also had Punk on the cover, so it's good to see 13 years later, him back on another iteration of the game. But what they really did differently in this game, which is what's keeping me having fun with it, is they added ragdoll physics. So instead of like everything just seeming very like I don't say pre-rendered with the moves, but you pretty much throw people off stuff in this game and create some crazy combinations, and it's hilarious. I've been watching videos on TikTok to just see what people have done, and it just keeps making me laugh. Also, the art style that they've used this year feels more like the old school games, because it's not like the character models look like the characters, but to me it hasn't been coming off like hyper realistic like they've been trying to do. It feels like they took a step back to take a step forward in a way. I've seen mixed reviews of what people think of the physics and the gameplay in this game, but for someone who grew up with like the original SmackDown games, hell, even Warzone and Attitude, this game so far feels like a game that I've wanted back in the last 10, 11 years, because I don't like the full-on simulation style of wrestling games. I think it gets boring. I like having the quirkiness, the weirdness, being able to climb stuff and jump off stuff to do like hyper, if you want to call it like hyper super high flying moves, and doing some wild stuff. Like I still remember in like Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, you could throw someone off the side of a Hell in a Cell and they would just like jump up and contort, and that's what I miss in wrestling games, and this somewhat brings it back with the realistic physics. So it's been a fun time all around so far for me. And those are my video game pickups for the first quarter of 2026. If you guys have played any of these, as always, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Game on, everybody. I will catch you hopefully sooner than later in another video games pickup video. But see ya. Bye.